We are not one, not two, but 3 days away from the first preseason game against the 76ers on Sunday, and that is why you subscribe to Celtics Today. We've got you covered preseason, regular season, postseason. Everything you need to know about the Boston Celtics is right here at Chat Sports, so hit that sub button for me. Boston fans, what is going on? I am your host, Allie Barefoot. My producer, Smitty, is right here to my left. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about some potential starting lineups heading into the regular season. Of course, the Celtics now do have Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. So we're going to let you know what fans could possibly see on the court. And of course, training camp updates. We're going to hear from not only players on the current roster, but also some players from previous rosters who have now appeared in the Auerbach Center. So we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper into the show. But first, Mazzulla. Who does he want in his starting five? He did address this at training camp, just basically saying, I don't have my set lineup yet. And why would he? He's got so many options to work with now. But he did give a pretty good quote about the possibility of starting these 5 players. And he said, I think we have a level of flexibility in order for us to maximize our roster on both ends of the floor. And I think flexibility and malleability and the ability to go to different matchups has to be a strength of ours. And so there will be a time where we say this is what we're going to do. But I think that we have to be as open-minded as possible to play in those different ways. I couldn't agree with Mazzulla more. It really depends on who you're playing that night, on who you're going to start. Whether you want to go big or small, because you did acquire an all-defensive point guard, but you also acquired Kristaps Porzingis. So it could be on. It could just be a constant fluidity of this roster, and I think that's going to make it 10 times harder to play against the Celtics because you don't know who's going to be starting that night. But let's take a look at what happens if Boston goes big. And when I say big, I mean you're looking at Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis on the same floor. If I'm looking across this right now, this is a lethal offensive team. 30 points, 19, almost 10 points from Al Horford, 26 from Jaylen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis with 23. I think you can shoot from every single corner on the court when you've got big. And it's also going to be so difficult when you're going up against bigger guys like Nikola Jokic, and you can double team him. You can do a lot of switchability on the bigger players like a Drummond or like an Embiid. So I think when you've got people like Horford and Porzingis locking down the paint, there's not going to be a lot of shots made down there. You got 2 fantastic rim protectors, and they're also pretty good shot blockers. Would I like to have Robert Williams doing some shot blocking? Of course, but we have to move on and look at what we do have now. And I think those are 2 pretty dangerous centers that we can work with, and you got elite scoring at every spot. Like I said, you guys just saw those numbers. You can't make that up. That is going to put numbers on the board. So I am very excited if Mazzulla wants to go with some big roster sometimes, because like I said, it fully depends on who you're playing that night, and if everybody is healthy, then we've got a lot to work with. But of course, you can do a number of things with this roster and this lineup. So coming up on this show, we're going to talk about small ball lineups and of course some training camp updates, including a wing who can't seem to figure out how to use his left hand. But first, all you have to do is go to Prize Picks. I have literally used this app every day this week since last Sunday. And I'm not even like a big person that likes to pick plays and pick players, but this is an amazing app to use. All you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and you can win 25 times your money on any entry. It's so easy to use. You can actually pick ahead of the NBA season. You can pick NFL slates right now. Wild card MLB games are going on. And of course, it is Thursday, so I picked some Thursday night football games. And I have Sam Howell throwing more than 237 passing yards. Of course, we got Scary Terry hitting the more as well, over 60 receiving yards. And then I said DJ Moore is going to have 40.5 yards. Little bit less for Justin Fields, though. But either way, it is so easy to use. If you guys want to make your own picks, all you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS, and you can get a deposit for up to $100. It's so easy to use. The link and description are in the chat, and you can watch yourself win some real money in real time. I'll definitely keep you updated on how my Prize Picks goes. But in the meantime, Boston Celtics small ball could be very deadly. You just saw how dominant the bigs can be, and there was no question Al Horford and Porzingis were going to do some damage. But now you've got Jrue Holiday and Derrick White potentially on the same floor. That is a matchup I really want to see. Jrue Holiday, 19 points per game. And then you've got Derrick White, 12 points per game, even averaging more than Al Horford. You've got two all-defensive NBA point guards running your backcourt. Who is going to defend that? It's going to spread out the offense like the Celtics have never seen. Like Smitty said, NBA's best defensive backcourt. JJ Redick even pointed it out a few days ago on his podcast saying that is going to be dangerous for teams to try to defend. And you've got some guard wing switchability. The fact when you're on defense, you can really just kind of switch your man, and Jaylen Brown can go on Derrick White's man and vice versa. And it's really going to spread out that defense as well. Every player can isolate on offense. It's going to be very hard for defenses to kind of solidify one player to lock down. Go on ahead and double team Jayson Tatum. You've got 4 other players in the court that can shoot just as well. No, not putting up the same numbers as Brown, as Tatum, but you see what I mean. If I'm taking those 2 potential starting lineups, I think I got to go with the small ball. Yes, producer Smitty is now finally making his debut. He's going to give his take in just 1 second. But my take right now is I like the small ball. I really think Derrick White and Jrue Holiday can create chaos out on that floor. When you are playing bigger teams like the Denver Nuggets, sure, go for Al Horford and go for Porzingis. When you're playing the Atlanta Hawks, who've got more shifty guards and can shoot around the perimeter, then I'm going Derrick White and Jrue Holiday. Have some fun with it. Let's see where you can go. But Smitty, I know you're kind of thinking a little bit opposite of me here.
Yeah, as far as my choice would go, listen, I love Derrick White as much as the next guy. I think he is one of the NBA's elite defenders and one of the most underrated players in basketball. But you got to remember, you don't really have too much ball handling there off the bench.
Right.
I think sliding him to the second unit and, obviously starting him when matchups permit is a great option. The rim protection and the spacing that you have with the 2 bigs is just too good to pass up, in my opinion. I love that group of Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis. Not many, real big men can fit together on the floor. I think that's a special duo that can do so, and that's why I think the big men lineup is going to dominate for much of the early season, especially before Al Horford's legs kind of give out as the season goes on. Hasn't done it yet, but he is getting up there at age 37. Plus, that bro defends Giannis better than anybody in the league. I'm telling you guys. Al Horford does the job, and you guys are going to see maybe one of the best big men duos. Everybody's talking about that Jrue Holiday and Derrick White lineup, but, man, the lineup that with Porzingis and Horford, I think is going to move mountains in this NBA. So I'm very excited for both possibilities.
I think whether it's my take or your take, I'm not really hearing any cons between these 2 lineups.
No, we're in a great spot.
I mean, it's like, do you want to win or do you want to win? That's kind of what we're dealing with.
I'm in
here.
for both.
I'm in for both. Let's just switch it up. I want to be Mazzulla right now. He's got the keys to win. But that was my take. I'm going to go small ball. Smitty's going to go big ball. So what is your perfect lineup? Who are your 5 Celtics you want to see typically starting most nights? Of course, it can switch up. But who do you want to see most typical on the regular season starting lineup? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. But we do have more to unpack on today's show because training camp is now underway. Practice is going on. Jrue Holiday's in the building. Porzingis is giving injury updates. We are so excited. I just feel so giddy when I see all the guys just talking about how excited they are. Everybody's smiling. Nobody is smiling as big as Brad Stevens. Why would they? This man just dominated the offseason. He literally just wrote a playbook for all other GMs to follow. He was smiling like a kid on Christmas during Jrue Holiday's press conference yesterday, to the point where I was like, wow, he really, really likes Jrue Holiday. So I've never seen Brad this happy. I've never seen Jrue Holiday this happy. He's so excited. He's very, very intrigued to play with the Jays. He's always played against them, and Brad Stevens knows that he won the offseason. So Jrue Holiday did have some nerves. He wasn't all smiles, of course. He said, you feel it in the locker room. For me, especially coming in a little nervous, just how is it going to be on the first day? You see Joe, the first day, almost losing his voice. He's out there running around, passing the ball to people, telling them to get back, stopping practice. But I think once I actually got out there and was able to play and get that chemistry, I felt more of that competitiveness. He's like a kid in the first day of school. He just moved from Milwaukee to Boston. He's got to get a swing of things and how they roll in Boston, but I think he's going to adjust pretty well. So Jrue met JB at the rim and rejected him. That happened the first day of practice. So if you want to come in and solidify your place, that is how you do it. Jrue Holiday is coming to play. And Mazzulla even blared crowd noise, buzzer effects, stadium effects. He wants him to get in the mindset that in 3 days, you will be hearing this constantly. And even better, Porzingis did give an injury update. He said foot feels great. He's looking forward to the progress that he's going to continue to make. He's been practicing, he's been working out, and we love to see a happy and healthy Porzingis. What we are not loving to see is Jaylen Brown going viral for his left-handed ball handling skills. If you haven't seen this video, go to my Twitter. It's on there because everybody's talking about it right now. This man is standing stationary on his right hand. He's got those skills. He's got the ball handling skills. On his left hand, it is everywhere. This man is stationary. This is where you should be dominating your left hand. And he looked horrible to the point where Kevin O'Connor even tweeted it out. Did Jaylen Brown even work on his left-hand dribble this offseason? Is there a double agent in the social media team? Why would you post this video and let people know that his left-handed skills were that bad? It was shaky, uncontrollable, while standing still. Can you imagine when he's going at full speed in the real game? That would look atrocious. I hope that he was thinking of something else. I hope he wasn't taking that seriously because that was flat out ugly. Are you worried about Jaylen Brown's handles this season? Because I think I am. Type Y for yes, type N for no. What I saw in that video, I mean, I haven't played basketball since high school, and I could go out there and do better than what he did standing still. That was disgusting. But anyways, the real cool news that's been happening is that Joe Mazzulla did send out an email to former Boston Celtics legends. Yes, that's Paul Pierce right there in that picture. And he invited them to come back to the Auerbach Center to say, hey, look, we want to try to win banner 18. You guys were a part of winning these banners in the past of Boston Celtics history. How did you do it? Be with us on this journey. What's even cooler is that these legends are taking the most of it. The fact that it was tweeted out today that Paul Pierce initiated a 3-point contest between Pierce, Cassell, and House, his former 08 teammates, shows that Pierce has still got it. They're having fun. Pierce and Tatum did work out multiple times throughout the summer, and having these legends come back is really just going to give them that edge because Jrue Holiday is the only person on that roster that has held that Larry O'Brien trophy. So Paul Pierce and them know what that is like, and he is bringing that to the team. However, subscribe to this channel while you guys are at it. We are going to be giving you the most up-to-date information we possibly can about the Boston Celtics. We are 3 days away from the preseason. Hit that sub button for me.